Hey guys, welcome to art. I'm super excited today. We are going to work on our Keith Haring work of art. Last art class, we went on a little virtual tour where you did a little bit of investigative work and you discovered who Keith Haring is. He's our subway artist, also known as our pop artist. Now, that doesn't mean he drinks a lot of soda. What that means is that he creates art from popular culture. So, a couple of things that we want to keep in mind when we are creating our pop art work of art. We are going to take some imagery from popular culture. I chose a spaceship. I think everyone knows why. I'm also including a heart. I want everyone to include at least one heart in their work of art because we are going to put these on display for Valentine's Day. So the other requirement for this work of art is that you have a figure in motion. Your figure should be doing something in your image. You are telling a story with your work of art. Now, we learned that Keith Haring's father worked for Disney, and so he really loved cartoons, and that is why we have the thick black outline. Now, last art class, you got to sort of play around and do some sketching with our Keith Haring style of art. And just as a little refresher, we started with a stick man. We added some elbows, which were just little dots. And then we added the second part of the arm and the second part of the legs to create a stick man that's basically moving around. Then we added our sausages, our nice little sausage man. Now, when we go to paint, it's going to be even easier than the little sausage man we were using when we were using markers. And I am going to show you all of this, so no need to worry. I just want to quickly show you another pose. We start with our stick man. We add our elbows and our kneecaps. We add our outline. It's very, very simple. There is not a lot to this. A lot of times drawing figures is something that is very intimidating, and it doesn't need to be intimidating. You can do this. It's going to be quite simple. The first thing that you are going to need today is going to be a messy mat, a pencil, a final copy piece of paper, and it wouldn't hurt to have an eraser handy. So the first thing you're going to do is go up to the corner and put your name and your table number. Flip your paper over, and you should have created an idea in your sketchbook last art class. So pull out your sketchbooks that are in your table folder, check out your idea. If you want to change your idea, you are free to change your idea. But you are all business today working. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by drawing very, very lightly with my pencil in the upper corner, and I'm going to start by drawing my cartoon version of a spaceship. All right, after I have my spaceship in here, I'm gonna draw my little beam me up Scotty lights. And then I have my heart here in the center. All right, we draw the curved line. There we go. Now I'm ready to draw my figure. I always start with the head. The arms are going to be up next to his head because he's going to be holding this heart with his hands. This is the body, and I'm going to put in some elbows, the second part of the arms. I'm going to do my legs, my kneecaps, my ankles, my feet, my horizon line, that special place where the sky meets the earth, and voila, I have a beautiful pencil drawing of my Keith Haring Valentine's work of art. So the next step is going to be to use that messy mat, place it underneath your work of art. Now, it doesn't make any sense to put it like this. You've got to put your messy mat in a vertical position so that it protects the desk from your work of art. Now, I know that normally when we paint with the background first. But because of the nature of this type of painting, we're gonna switch things up a little bit, and we are actually going to start by painting our figure, our heart, and the detail that is going to help you tell your story about your heart. All right, so let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do is dab my paintbrush dry, and I am going to start with a warm color. I'm gonna go ahead and paint my heart first today. Now, keep in mind that you are sharing your paint palette with your neighbor. And if no one is sitting next to you, you get to use it all by yourself. Okay. Now that I am finished with my heart, I'm going to clean out my brush. And I'm gonna dive into the cool colors. And since no one is sitting next to me, I'm going to have my paint palette over to the side a little bit. Clean my brush off. Now, this is the fun part because we are going to add color to our little stick man. To start, we are going to add paint to his head. I'm going to go into his hands. Basically, I'm just going to go over my lines to start with, because these lines serve as guidelines. They're gonna help you with your final project. So we are going to thicken up these arms just by painting next to the initial line that you painted. Maybe thicken up your hands a little bit. Give him some muscles. Put some meat on those bones. We're gonna thicken up the legs. Give him some shoes. He looks a little silly when only one side of his body is completed. Make his belly a little bit thicker. All right, now we're ready for the other side. Now, bodies are symmetrical, so you really want to do your best to mirror what you did on the other side. That means copy what you did on the other side. Ah, beautiful. Now thicken up his neck just a little bit. And we have a beautiful Keith Haring inspired figure holding a heart now. All right, I am ready to use some black so that I can add my horizon line, that magical spot where the sky meets the ground. And I'm also going to outline my spacecraft. So let me get a paper plate that has some black paint on it, because I don't typically put the black paint inside the paint containers, because if I do that, then sometimes the black mixes in with colors and then it's all messy. Now, when I'm outlining or I'm doing any kind of detail work, I like to use the smaller brushes so that I have a little bit more control over the black paint. All right. If you hold your brush up towards the top, you're going to have a little bit more control. It's almost like doing a drawing. Sweet. Do some little windows in here. Maybe some lights. All right, cool. I'm going to draw my horizon line across the bottom of my page, and voila, you have the beginnings of a beautiful Keith Haring inspired work of art. Go ahead and place these on the drying rack and clean up your area. Put your paintbrush in the hot tub. You did an awesome job today, guys. Thank you. Great work.